Welcome to the Test Drive Server Core Remote Management demonstration. This demonstration highlights the benefits of the new Windows Server 2008 Server Core role with its low overhead and the new management tools and technologies included in Windows Server 2008 to help manage this environment. The Server Core role is really a subset of the full installation and does not install many of the components that are available in a full installation, making it smaller, faster, and with a smaller attack surface. The Server Core role is really ideal for scenarios where a light, fast server is needed, such as a web server, file server, or as a host of virtualization. The perceived challenge in Server Core is management. Without the GUI, you would think you have to rely on lots of command line tools to do the work for you. Or do you? Now let's take a look at how you can administer some of the Server Core installations from a remote machine using a combination of tools and technologies included in Windows Server 2008. One of the most useful new features in Windows Server 2008, of course, is event subscriptions. An event subscription allows me to monitor the events on multiple computers from actually one computer. This lets me understand the status of my network and respond to changes in real time. And an event subscription is very easy to configure. You can have as many subscriptions as you want, and to create one, we really have to only define a few properties. So let me actually show you one that I created earlier. Within my event viewer, if I click on my subscriptions folder, you'll see that I've already created one. If I double click on that, we can actually go through some of the components of that. So for example here, I want to collect critical and warning events on all my Server Core computers. I can select which computers are associated with that, whether it's all of my Server Core or a subset of those. I can easily select which events that I want to associate and collect. In this example, I'm collecting them all. I can look at the XML function of that as well to be able to actually edit this query manually if I wanted to do some very customized collection. And I can associate things such as certain accounts with this collection as well. Once this collection is up and running, effectively any of that event structure within those Server Core machines I have out there, I'll be able to pull that information into that centralized environment. So with this now in place, we're actually going to go ahead and log an event on one of my Server Core machines. We're actually using a WinRM to send a remote shell command to each of my nodes, instructing them to log an event. Let me show you how I'm doing that. I'm effectively basically have a small bat file here that I'm sending a WinRS command out for a custom application error of ID within the event create component of that. If I double click on that, it's actually going to send that information out via WinRS to each of those machines, and within about 30 to 40 seconds I should actually have that event forwarded back to me. So you can see now with the exclamation mark that I have a new event available, and if I do a simple refresh, that event has been forwarded to me, event ID, and I can view information about that. Now with the infrastructure in place for event forwarding and management over HTTP utilizing WinRM, we can really begin to be proactive about responding to system events. Another new feature of Windows Server 2008 is the ability to create system tasks that respond to these events. And system tasks play a large role in Windows Server 2008 and are responsible for many of the things that a computer does on a daily basis. By attaching systems tasks to events, you can actually dynamically react to things that happen, reducing the cost and time required to manage your environment. So let's actually walk through an example of what can happen when with event subscriptions, WinRM and event-based tasks are combined. And in this scenario, what we want to do is notify the operator when a particular event occurs on the Server Core machine. I have a system error here of 999, and in my environment this is actually a fairly important error that I actually want to respond to quickly. If I look into my all forwarded application errors, you can see that I have that system ID 999. I can then right click on this and actually attach a task to this event. In this case, I can write some information about that. But the more important piece is actually what task do I want it to perform. And you can see I can start a program, send an email, and in this case I just want to display a message. And this message may be something simple as error on server core, and we can actually have a message in that, or you can be as complex as you want. So you can see here that very simply I've gone and created this this subscription to actually click off a task. I can also do much more advanced functionality in this as well, and actually run through what happens when I'm logged on or logged off. I can collect multiple triggers. I can define multiple actions. Instead of just doing a message, if I'm logged off, why not send an email? I can also define certain conditions and so on and so on. I have a lot of ability to configure this, and it's very, very flexible. So let's actually save this information off. And utilizing another bat file, I'm actually going to simulate that application failure on all my server core machines and be able and see if we can actually trigger that event. So again, utilizing WinRS, I'm sending out a request to write an event within their event view, system, and utilizing my forwarding event system should be able to go and collect that. Again, that should take between 30 and 40 seconds. So you can see that I now have a new event available. If I then go and click on my all forwarded events, I should have my 2 events, and the message box has popped up on my taskbar that I have an error on server core. There are always things, activities that we need to do locally on a server. There are always some things that must be done locally on a server. And WinRM offers an alternative which allows you to manage servers without needing local server console access to perform these tasks that once required local access. One example is NetSH. Let's say you need to analyze the IP configuration to configure a new application to work correctly. By connecting over WinRM and utilizing WinRS, you can perform this task as if you were sitting physically at the remote system. So let's actually go and look at what that looks like. I'm actually just going to start my NetSH system here, connecting out to my core server. That opens the command prompt that allows me to initialize anything that I want to do from this remote console. And in this space, all I really want to do is show all the current configuration of my IP addresses for that server core. And you can see here that it's actually returned all that information back to me. What if you need to manage multiple server core instances? You can actually do this with the Windows PowerShell. Windows PowerShell has the ability to execute complex queries against a group of computers, basically in a single command. Let's say you want to query all your servers to determine which is the most available disk space. You can accomplish this with PowerShell. All you need is a text file with a list of your computers, and then you're basically ready. So if we look at the command to run this, I have a small script that I can run within the PowerShell environment. We'll actually bring in my computers.txt file, and this could actually be a user input. You could actually ask for computers here, or you could pull this information out of Active Directory. For this example, we're just pulling information from a computer text, and we're running a script basically for each of my components within my text file. Go in, grab the computer name, and grab the drive type information with the free space information. So starting PowerShell and actually running this command, it should actually go and return all that free space information that I have available. So let's just kick off the script. So you can see it's gone out to each of my machines, the domain controller, and then going out and query my server core role, and is returning the drive letters and the amount of available free space on each of those hard drives. Finally, it's important to note that while server core does not have a GUI of its own, it still supports all the GUI administration tools run from a remote computer. For example, both the Windows Firewall Management tool and the Computer Management tool, where you can do things like manage accounts and services, function perfectly on a remote workstation. And this could be as simply as creating a single MSC file which points out to those, or accessing this through Active Directory, Computer Management, or other tools that allows you to remotely connect to those machines. So for example here is the remote view of that server core role. So hopefully I've shown you some really great examples of managing, making a seamless management of the server core role utilizing WinRM and WinRS, and then utilizing other tools and technologies such as the PowerShell and the inbuilt event scheduling and tasker within Windows Server 2008. Thank you.